So Terea was looking through some stuff for us and found a video called Diablo 4's Endgame Explained. And it sounds like, at least this is information that I haven't really heard or picked up on, but it sounds like they're adding Mythic Plus style keys to Diablo's dungeons. And I think maybe a lot of people might have glossed over this in the past, but now that we've spent some time with the beta, it might be a good time to revisit this information and see what all is here. And now that we understand the game and the systems that are in place, see how it relates to everything. So let's go ahead and hop into this and let's give it a listen.
While players will be excited to play through the Diablo 4 storyline, what happens once that's completed? In this video, we're going to take a look at the endgame and how Blizzard plans making Diablo 4 a live service game to keep players engaged. As with previous Diablo games, Diablo 4 has numerous difficulty levels. In Diablo 4, these are called world tiers, and 5 have been revealed.
I think there's more than 5 though, right? Like if I remember right, it looked like there was a lot more than 5 world tiers.
The first tier is specifically designed.
I'm going to move my head to the other side just so you guys can see them. I'm pretty sure I was looking through stuff when I was in the beta and it goes well above world tier 5.
Designed for new players, while the highest tier will challenge you to the max with tougher monsters, more powerful gear, and a reduction in resistances.
At the time of publish, right.
This progression will push you towards the endgame, where having reached level 100, you will face an extremely difficult boss at the highest world tier. As well as events in the open world becoming tougher at higher difficulties.
See, even this world boss looks like it's going to be a little bit more challenging than the one that we originally fought. Just because of like, look at all the shit popping up out of the ground that looks like it's going to do poison damage, as well as his like close range and far range attack. Because he's got that big rock that he swings, so...
There are also specific endgame systems. Helltides.
So what are Helltides?
Helltides become available to you once you've reached World Tier 3, and similar...
So we were very close to World Tier 3. We, in order to get to World Tier 3, I think you had to be level 50 to even access World Tier 3.
To recently added Diablo 2 Terror Zones, monster difficulty increases, and they will drop cinders which can be used to open Helltide chests found throughout the region. The Helltides are worth farming because these chests provide rewards exclusive to a singular item slot, such as torso, legs, or two-handed weapon.
So that's interesting. So you need to farm those from just doing the content at World Tier 3.
Nightmare Dungeons. Nightmare Dungeons are also part of the endgame, and we've touched on those in our previous Dungeons video. These tougher versions of dungeons are activated with a sigil. Completing them unlocks even more powerful sigils, which make dungeons more challenging at higher world.
So it's literally going to function as a Mythic Plus key. You have to start at a world tier, right, and add a key, and then completing that will give you access to higher tiers keys in a very similar system, at least it sounds like, as to Mythic Pluses and World of Warcraft.
Tiers. Tree of Whispers.
So that's actually going to allow you quite a bit of content in the sense of the way the affixes and everything work in Mythic Plus dungeons, because that's what people grind for in WoW. You either grind to do the raid or you grind to go higher in M Plus dungeons, right? And the dungeons all have affixes. Yeah, so your key's gonna have them, plus the dungeon's gonna have them.
Aside from the main and side quests, there's still more content to be found in the endgame through the Tree of Whispers.
Why am I... Like, I've been, like, consuming so much Diablo 4 media and, like, content, and I just have overlooked all of this, or nobody's talked about it here recently. How you doing, Maury?
Blizzard described the Tree of Whispers as frequently cycling world objectives.
Let me move my camera again.
And bounties that reward you with legendary gear, experience, crafting materials, grim favors, and more.
So here's part of this, right? So, and I'm going to move my camera back to the other side here in a second. So you're going to get crafting materials and stuff like that. So this is going to help alleviate some of the farming for crafting materials. But the one thing that we didn't realize was as important as it seemingly will be moving forward is even if you get legendary gear, and the gear isn't good. Who were on the closed beta? I've heard we had some people stop by talking about the closed beta that got all the way to the end of the game, and they talked about how like the current beta is just like the tip. It's like not even the first knuckle. But the important part here is going to be, one, we don't know what Grim Favors are. And two, the legendary, I just hit my mic. And two, the legendary gear, you can turn it into an aspect. So you might be farming for legendary gear that you might not wear, but that aspect that you can turn it into, you might want to put on other gear. So this could actually be sort of a big deal and another way to grind for the gear that you need to push higher into these Mythic Plus keyed dungeons that they've added to the game. I found it and posted on 317. So just last week, and there's stuff, older posts from people, closed beta, etc. Makes sense. Aspect encoded, they do. I did notice that. I 100% noticed that.
Once you've collected 10 Grim Favors, you can
Oh, it's explaining Grim Favors now.
exchange them at the Tree of Whispers for a bevy of loot, according to Blizzard.
So 10 Grim Favors pretty much gets you a special chest. Do you think dungeons will be designed as group dungeons? I think they'll scale. I think they'll be soloable, but I think it'll be better in a team, especially once you start getting into some of the harder content. I think it's UK lingo for a fuck ton. I think it's British.
The whispers you see on your map will rotate frequently, with new ones becoming available throughout the day for you to
Look how good this fucking looks, though. Like, their concept art was so good.
track. Each whisper offers both a different set of rewards and experience for completing it. However, the Tree of Whispers content is not available until a specific chapter of the main questline has been completed.
Alright, so it's tied to quest progression. That's perfectly fine.
Fields of Hatred.
Another new thing? PvP. So this is where the PvP is. So PvP is not going to only be instance-based. It sounds like they're going to have a PvP zone, kind of like World of Warcraft, right? World of Warcraft has PvP zones on the map that you can, like, walk into. So let's see if that's what this is.
While not every player enjoys PvP, it is part of the Diablo 4 endgame and takes place in what are called the Fields of Hatred.
Tell me that doesn't look fun. Imagine getting, like, 3 of your buddies and just going and being like, we own this fucking field.
Which are corrupted areas of sanctuary.
Looks like it's PvPvE.
When entering one of these corrupted areas, players can be attacked by other players and can also take part in PvP against any player they are not grouped with. Players can also PvP as a group of up to 4 players. These special zones include objectives and monsters, so you...
Nope. You will slap ass until someone better gear, and it's no more fun. You think that's why you get the bestest gear. Takes note as hobos get to PvP rogue builds together to haunt Judge. Oh my god. I'll be getting fucking stream sniped so hard.
You will still have to be on guard against the evil forces of Sanctuary. If a player is killed by another player, the defeated player will drop Seeds of Hatred, and also an ear.
Seeds of Hatred and an ear? A little reason you had to stop playing Black Desert and such, you'll just have to play with Mihawk.
Both of which can be taken by the victor.
Bro, did you see how fucking real those ears looked?
Should any player die while carrying Seeds of Hatred, the seeds will be dropped for the victor to loot.
I bet this is going to be like a great way to get PvP ear. The ears are totally a D2 thing. I honestly think what they've done is they've looked at the best of everything they've done. Blizzard has to offer, and they're just trying to put it all in one game. Hawk plays with Judge, you'll never get anything done. It'll be interesting. The monetization will be purely cosmetic. So far, they're saying it's going to be 100% cosmetic. I bet there's going to be some fucking banger cosmetics added. Like fucking wings and colors and skin customizations and suits and pets and mounts. I'd say the customization is going to be fucking banger on this game.
Seeds of Hatred can be converted to red dust.
And then supposedly, like, the season pass you get will have, like, XP boosts and stuff like that. But it's just going to be in the season pass, and it's not going to be in the premium pass. But it's supposed to be in the free version of the season pass. So we'll see how that works. And then the premium version of the season pass will have more cosmetics. So we need to wait and see. I mean, I feel pretty comfortable with it. I'm not too worried about the monetization right now. I play with Judge. If I play with Judge, we could do you. What? What happened, dog?
At the altar of extraction, and the red dust can then be redeemed at a PvP cosmetic and mount vendor.
And dude, the PvP, you know the PvP cosmetics are going to be fucking banger.
For ornamental rewards. Once seeds of hatred are converted to red dust, the red dust currency cannot be looted by other
So it's only the seeds. Once you convert it, it stays with you.
players, which means you'll want to convert them as often as possible. Once at the altar of extraction, other players will see you are in the process of changing your seeds of hatred into red dust, making you vulnerable to a
So it's not instant. It sounds like there's a conversion time. So not only are you like a giant sitting duck, like people are going to be farming those spots to try to kill people.
attack with the potential of losing your seeds before they are converted.
We need to see how that works. That could be a system that's easily abused.
Interestingly, Blizzard has also stated that players who are stomping all over other players in these PvP zones will be highlighted to other players, and a bounty could be placed on their head.
So if you're fucking pub stomping, you're going to get a bounty.
Should you take on the challenge of defeating this prolific PvPer, you may be rewarded handsomely.
So people with like giant PvP-ness prowess are gonna be like gonna stand out. So if you're the better you are with your PvP-ness, the more people are gonna come for it.
What we don't know.
Interesting.
Fields of Hatred zones are likely to appear in various locations, but it's
I wonder if these zones are gonna rotate or how that's gonna work. Be locked behind this. Since this is in-game, question is, what content will be locked behind this for people who like to enjoy games instead? What do you mean? Like, for the PvP, it sounds like it's just cosmetics.
unclear how large these areas will be, and whether players will be able to get their hands on PvP-focused loot from vendors within these zones. Blizzard has outlined the aforementioned endgame challenges, but as Diablo 4 is a live service game, it's likely we'll see more endgame content over time. What we don't know is what that will involve and what endgame content will appear during seasons or even future expansions beyond new gear and event.
Dude, the whirlwind on that barbarian looked very strong, because that's the same build I was using, but it actually looked like it functions properly there, so we need to see that in game.
Expansions are likely to shake up the endgame with new zones and of course new classes, but there has not been a time frame set for when these will appear in the future. The full package, as well as these
Whirlwind, I did that. That's what I did, but I just couldn't put out enough damage.
special endgame objectives, as every Diablo player knows, it's the combination of these systems along with the levelling up process, paragon boards, loot hunting and experimenting with builds that makes the Diablo endgame. Every player will
Right, so during the beta, we didn't have access to the paragon board. We were short, like, I don't know, depending on how many, if we only get ability tokens up to level 50 and then move over to the paragon board, or if we get ability tokens all the way up to level 100, I'm not for sure. I'd have to go back and read it. But needless to say, we were at least 25 ability tokens short, and we were only one set of abilities that we didn't have unlocked, and those were like passives, like high-tier passives. So there's definitely, I forget where I was going with this, but there's definitely room there. And then the paragon board, there's a lot of systems. I can't remember where I was going.
will tackle the endgame differently and have different goals, but only time will tell how it will play out.
We do need to see the end game. I'm curious.
Blizzard
It sounds like there's tons of stuff to do.
appears to recognise the importance of the endgame and we'll be putting considerable resources into making sure there's plenty to do in Sanctuary once the story is completed.
So I mean, I feel like there was some pretty good information there. I think I would probably have to watch the video on specifically dungeons to hear them talk about exactly what they're doing with the dungeons and the key system. But just from watching this and playing the beta, it seems like there's actually quite a bit already pre-planned going into Diablo's end game once the game launches in June. And just seeing this content alone makes me more optimistic about the launch of Diablo 4 and what we're going to get to do and how it's going to go. But hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any thoughts, definitely drop them down in the comments. And as always, have a great day.